Okay, friends, happy Tuesday. Let's continue with our rounding practice for this week. So the questions are just going to progressively get harder. Yesterday's independent practice should have been pretty easy peasy. So today, now we are going to move into tens of thousands, and we will even see a number that's in the hundreds of thousands. And also don't forget, our strategy for this week is going to be using number lines, so make sure you have a pen, pencil, paper, because we're going to be drawing lots of number lines today. Go ahead and read number one to yourself, and then I will read it aloud. Number one says, select yes or no for each value that rounds to 20,000 when rounding to the nearest 10,000. So go ahead and write the value that we are rounding to. And the value that we are rounding to is 20,000. And we are specifically looking at the 10,000s place. So we go back to look at what we already know. If we start farthest to the right, we know that first value is ones, tens, and then hundreds. And that continues as we move more to the left. These values are getting larger. This is something we already know from the first week. We then have thousands, and then the next digit is 10,000. And I'm actually going to highlight that one for you. So that 2 is our 10,000s place. So this whole entire number is 20,000. We're going to evaluate each of the choices. So letter A, let's do split screen. There we go. So letter A is 12,400. And just like in 20,000, the digit that represents the 10,000s place is the 1. So when we set up our number line, and we show the beginning, the end, and then the middle's about, look at that number line again, middle's about right here. Well, the value that's in the beginning is the value that's already in that place, which is 10,000. So we're labeling the beginning of our number line as 10,000. Well, since we're rounding to the 10,000s place, and I can even write that in words, well, the next 10,000 after 10,000 is 20,000. And just like what we did with all the other questions, we're still going to find the midpoint. And remember, that's the value in the middle. It's called the midpoint. It's called the sweet midpoint. Well, what's in the middle of 10,000 and 20,000? You're right. 15,000. So now what we're going to do is we're going to find where 12,400 is on our number line. Go ahead and label 12,400. I think that 12,400 is pretty close to 12,000. I think 12,400 is in between 10,000 and 15,000. However, it still looks like it's closer to 10,000. So when we round 12,400 to the nearest 10,000, would it be 20? No. Go ahead and select no as your answer for the first choice. All right, now let's go ahead and do choice letter B. Choice letter B is 15,700. The digit that's representing the 10,000s place is the 1. Let's set up our number line. Label beginning and end. The beginning is 10,000 because it's what is in our place that we are rounding. And then we're going to label the next 10,000. So the next 10,000 is 20. Cool, dudes. Okay, go ahead and find the midpoint. And the midpoint, similar to the other example, is 15,000. So now, where does 15,700 go on this number line? Well, 15,700 is just after 15,000. Looks like that one is much closer to 20,000 than the other example. So that one would indeed round to 20,000. So go ahead and select yes for letter B. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to try the third and the fourth example on your own. Use the number lines that we have done together, labeling the beginning, the middle, and the end, and then also identifying the digit that is in the 10,000s place. 2 minutes for the third and the fourth answer choice. Go ahead, go to work. Okay, friends, let's go ahead and review our number line together. So for letter C and D, those last 2 choices, I went ahead and set up my number line. So the first one, 17,700, the 1 digit represents 10,000. The next would be 20. The value in the middle is 15,000. 17,700 comes after 15,000, and I think it goes about right here. So it looks like 17,700 would be rounded to 20,000. On the fourth number line, this one's a little bit different because this one's after 20,000, but the value in the 10,000s place is 20,000. The next 10,000 is 30,000, and the value that's at the midpoint is 25,000. So the concept is still the same. I'm just now thinking of different values. So we just have to pay attention to those when we round different numbers. 21,500 is before 25,000. I think it goes pretty close to 20,000. So it looks like answer choice C and answer choice D are both yes. Make sure you have both of those choices selected for your guided practice for number 1. Okay, go ahead and set up your scrap piece of paper for question number 2, and then read it to yourself, making any annotations on your scrap piece of paper. Now I'm going to go ahead and read question number 2 aloud. When Kevin rounded a number to the nearest 10,000, the answer was 800,000. Which of the following numbers could have been the original number? The 2 annotations that I made for this question is the value it was rounded to, which was 800,000, and the value it's asking us to round to. So I both have the number and I have the value written down. Well, one thing that's actually a little tricky about this particular question is we're now in the 100,000s place. The 10,000s place is a 0. Now, does that mean that there is no 10,000s in this number? No. 800,000 is indeed made of 10,000s. However, there is a 0 in the place because it's called a placeholder. And simply what that means is that when we go to a new value, or in this case, a new unit, such as tens or hundreds, thousands, and in this case, hundreds of thousands, we put a 0 to hold the place of all the values in that number. So even though this number is showing 800,000, we're still going to be looking at the digit that represents the 10,000th place. Now the question's asking us to figure out which of the following numbers could have been the original number. What that means is we're going to also take each of the choices and evaluate them one at a time. So choice letter A is 796,124. I'm actually going to say that number one more time. 796,124. Go ahead and say that number 2 times. How many times? That's right, 2 times. 796,124. Well, what's the digit that's in the 10,000s place? 9 is the digit that's in the 10,000s place. So what we're thinking about then is, what are all of the numbers that would round to 790,000 or the next 10,000? Well, since it's at 790, the next 10,000 would be 800. So when we're setting up our number line, The beginning value is 790,000. And then the ending value, which is the next 10,000, is going to be 800. What's in between 790,000 and 800,000? 795,000 is in between 790,000 and 800,000. Now let's go ahead and find where 796,124 goes on our number line. Is it before or after 795,000? It is slightly after 795,000. So when you round this number to the nearest 10,000, looks like it would be rounded to 800,000. Let's go ahead and select A as our answer. In order to be sure we have the correct answer, let's still evaluate B, C, and D. The number for choice B is 808,946. I'm going to say that number again. 808,946. Say it to yourself 2 times. Now let's underline the 10,000s digit. The 10,000s digit is 0. Thinking about the work that we just discussed from the previous choice, does that mean that there's no 10,000s in this number? No. Again, it is simply a placeholder. It just means that once we make it to 10,000, we'll be able to change that digit to a 1, and then when we make it to 20, a 2, and then so on and so forth. So when we're labeling the beginning, if this is a 0, this would be just like the previous example where it would simply be 800,000. Well, the next 10,000 would be 810,000. The midpoint, which is the value in the middle of 800,000 and 810,000, is 805,000. Okay, find where 808,946 goes. If you were also thinking after 805,000, sweet. Looks like that one is closest to 810,000. So we now know definitely for sure that it's not going to be choice B. Woo! Nice job, guys. We'll take a little break, follow the numbered lines. Notice that when I'm saying all the numbers, I'm saying them really carefully and really slowly. I know that seems really silly, but sometimes it helps us remember what the value is of each number, and the more we practice it correctly, we can actually do it faster. So again, I know it seems really silly to say it slowly and carefully, but it really helps us understand the value of each of these numbers and remind us how to say them correctly. Okay, letter C. This one's 820,000. I'm The digit that's in the 10,000s place is the 2. And just like Annie told us in the Brain Pop video yesterday, if it's already having a 0 at the end and it's already at that unit, well, that value is simply just the same. So the 10,000 for 820,000 is 820,000. Well, the next 10,000 is 830,000. And then the value in the middle is 825,000. Now this one's an obvious choice, scholars, because we are already rounded to the nearest 10,000. So would this round to 800? No. Cool. All right, last and final choice, just to be sure and careful. Okay, letter D, that number is 898,789. Number line with beginning, end, and middle. What digit represents the 10,000s place? Amazing. It is indeed the 9, and it's the 9 that's in between the 2 8s. All right, so then we would label 890,000. And what would be the next 10,000? Your hint is from our first example. Your hint is from our example choice A on this question. Nice. 900,000. And then the value that's in the middle is 895. Okay, last but not least, where does 898,789 go? It is pretty close to 900,000. I would say maybe about like right here. That gets rounded to 900,000, and that would also not work. Amazing work, guys. Look at how neat our paper is, especially like when we organize it. Doesn't it look nice? I know, I'm a big fan. Oh, let's choose our cursor for today. Our cursor for today is, how do I find it? Here we go. We can do lots of really funny cat ones. Wonder if there's any Star Wars. Should have done that, huh? Well, all right. What about, ooh, Minions. That's a fun one. Okay. Yeah, Minions. Okay. Love it. All right, last one, dudes. Man, I know that this is a lot of work. So go ahead and organize your scrap piece of paper for number 3. I'm actually going to go ahead and give you 2 minutes first to go ahead and do the first 2 choices. This question is asking you the same thing that it did for question number 1. This value is in 10,000, so it's 16,500, but you were rounding to the nearest 100. So what value are you paying attention to? Awesome. You're paying attention to the hundreds place. All right, 2 minutes, the first 2 choices, and then we'll come back together. welcome back. I had to move my head up here so that we can see all of what's happening here. Okay, question number 3 says, select yes or no for each value that rounds to 16,500 when rounding to the nearest hundred. So I made sure I made a note that I'm rounding to the hundreds place, so I'm consistently looking at the hundreds digit. So the hundreds digit in 16,500 is 5. Well, choice A is showing 16,410. So the digit that represents the hundreds is the 4. So then I'm writing 16,400 because that is the hundreds that's closest to 16,410. The next hundred is 16,500. The value that's in the middle is 16,450. 16,410 is just after 16,400. So when we're rounding to the nearest hundreds place, 16,410 would get rounded to 16,400. So for choice A, the answer would be New Land. Okay, so for the next one, 16,590, my number line should show 16,500, 16,550, and 16,600. 16,590 is 10 away from 16,600. So that would be rounded to the next hundred, and that would also be a no, sad. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the next two together. I actually already had my number line set up because I'm starting to run out of room, so I wanted to be very careful about my work. Okay, 16,530. I didn't highlight the other one. That one also has 5 in the 500s place. So we would label 16,500. And the next 100 would be 16,600. The midpoint would be 16,550. When we label 16,530 on our number line, it is before 16,530. I actually think it's about right here. So it looks like this one indeed would get rounded to 16,500. So for that one, let's go ahead and select yes. All right, one more, guys. We can do this. Such incredible hard work today. All right, 16,630. The hundreds is 600. So our number line would show 16,600 in the beginning, 16,700 at the end, and then 16,650. 16,630 is before, actually about like maybe in the middle, 16,650, which means this one would also not be rounded to 16,500. So this one would be a no. All right. Again, look at our scratch piece of paper. Look at how like, ooh. If you actually organize yours just like mine, yours probably looks like super neat and organized. And again, does that make you feel good when you can like see all of your work? It's also really great to keep these notes later on because when you're 5th graders, of course you're going to be working on rounding. Okay, don't forget to click next and work on your independent practice today. Continue to use those number lines or you can even use the interactive number line. You might have noticed that I linked it some of those really tricky questions.